Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
Hello, everyone. Nick Borrman here of WagerTalk.com with another episode of Tea Time from Vegas, alongside, of course, Andy Lang, also of WagerTalk.com, here to talk a little Waste Management Open, the fun, exciting atmosphere that is the 16th hole of par 3. Everyone knows about it, and we're here to talk about it. Andy, my friend, how are you? How did we do last week, and what's going on in your world?
Well, what's going on in my world is when you're a prop better and it's Super Bowl week, it is one of the busiest weeks of the year. I am more busy this week with one football game than regular season when there's 16 football games. So, but it's a great week. NBA is going great. NFL is going weak. Golf did not have a good week. Always tell it like it is. I'm happy to be done with these multi-course tournaments, these pro-ams. I feel like every year I come out of this stretch and I go, gosh, I should really dial it back there. There's a lot of volatility with it. My track record isn't very good. So just to be honest, it wasn't very good. We cashed a couple, went 0-3 in head-to-heads. So, but this is the kind of tournament that I really, really love handicapping. It's your basic tournament. It's a lot of fun. Course history tells you a lot about this. A lot of the same guys do well year in and year out. A lot of guys don't do well year in and year out. So got a lot of bets posted, packages up. Very excited.
Excellent. Hey, listen, we all know it's a marathon, not a sprint, and golf is and no different, especially if you're betting outrights like crazy people like me. It can be a long while before you finally hit one. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about our best bets and our worst bets from last week. Before we get to that, actually, let's talk about a promo code I have for you guys. This week we have the Waste Management Open, so it's easy to remember the code WM40. Get $40 off a 30-day pass for either Andy or myself. Normally priced at $99. Grab it for just $59. Buy this thing and it'll include actually 30 days, which is going to cover 5 tournaments, not just 4. So WM40 is the promo code. Make sure to have either of our pages at WagerTalk.com to check that out. All right, last week, best bets, worst bets, our favorite segment of the week, Andy, right?
Absolutely.
I'll give you the honors to go first. What was your best bet from last week?
I chose to go with Bezuidenhout, top South African. It's another reminder that if you can find these streaks, you can cash. We've been playing him and we've been winning, and this one was plus 140 because they added a couple of other South Africans to the group. So cash it again, and I'm always looking to find guys that I can win 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Cash the streak. We did on that one. Worst bet, I'm going to go with Lucas Glover over Joel Dahman. Don't call him Damon. He came out of nowhere. He finished 6th. Congratulations to Joel. And Lucas Glover was a train wreck. He shot plus 8 on the back 9 on the second round. He had a triple bogey on a par 5. So it was a disaster. That one never had a chance after round 2. That's my worst bet.
Whether you lost by a stroke or by 15, all pays out the same, or it doesn't pay out. I also had Bezuidenhout plus 140 in my package for this week. I noticed you did not tell me you were betting that this week because I stole it from you, 2 weeks ago. So this time I found it on my own. My best bet, of course, I was able to find the outright winner last week. Tom Hoagie, 60-1 on the outright, was a great cash, first outright of the year. And so we have a nice little cushion for the next few weeks as we try to find more. I want a special shout out to Daniel Berger. I took 3 outrights. Hoagie was not one of them. Berger withdrew. Hoagie subbed in. Cash it. Love it. Absolutely love it. So the best part about that tournament is I'm texting Andy on Sunday back and forth. I mean, I had Hoagie, Cantley, and who else I haven't drawn up? Like Power. And all three of them had to share the lead. One of those three was leading each of the first 3 days, and then it comes to the back nine on Sunday. Spieth's up 2, and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm sitting in a position I'm going to cash all week long. I could have cashed out any bet for a profit at any point during that week, and I'm sitting there cursing up Andy, dropping F-bombs, and, lo and behold, a couple minutes later, 2-shot swing on 17, birdie for Hoagie, bogey for Spieth, and he's got a 2-shot lead going 18, cash a winner. So that's golf for you. Glad it came through, though. It was not easy. It was stressful, and they usually are. Worst bet was Jason Day over Jordan Spieth. I only say that. Jason Day didn't play poorly. Spieth just finished runner-up, and really it was good for 2 days. It was 36 holes. Day was up by several shots, and then Spieth went off on Saturday and played well on Sunday too. So that's all right. Going to have to lose some if we're going to cash some of those outright winners. But now we move on. We look ahead. The trend continued, though, I will say, with Hoagie for this week. We take a look at a quick graphic that shows now 5 straight tournaments, all 5 tournaments of 2022 have seen somebody ranked inside the top 10 strokes gained tee to green or strokes gained approach coming in has found a way to win. Hoagie ranked 5th tee to green and 6th approach. That's why I picked him, and he came through. So we're going to look as we go forward into this week. We'll start with the top 10 strokes gained graphic. This is tee to green over the last 6 months here for Pebble Beach, for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. We're going to start with Daniel Berger, who's on top of the list. He's at plus 2.29. Then you got JT plus 1.85, Patrick Cantley plus 1.69, Luke List, who of course pulled through just 2 weeks ago at plus 1.66, Rahm, Matsuyama, Henley, Burns, Scheffler, and Finau rounding out the top of this board. It's noticeable that Berger is up there again by quite a big margin and has decent odds, 25-1 compared to, like, say, Rahm at 6-1 or JT at 10-1. And then the bottom of the list has some good value there too. Henley, Burns, both been playing pretty well for a little while. Henley lost that playoff recently. So all good omens coming in. Andy, let's talk a little bit about the tournament itself, the field also. Always start with you. What do you want the viewers, what does everybody need to know about this event in particular?
Well, it does favor bombers. The course is fairly dry. They haven't had a lot of rain. And so typically when that happens, you're going to have a lot of runoff. They've got 3 par 5s that are gettable for the longer guys. So this really comes down to bombers and approaching. Around the green, not terribly difficult. If you get a good feel for the greens early on, you're going to have success. Webb Simpson won this. He's kind of the exception to the rule about the bombers, but when you look at it, it's really the longer players. They do have a big advantage. Of course, it's one of the most viewable tournaments with the 16th hole, especially on Saturday. It's amazing the story behind that whole thing, and that's what everyone is going to be looking for. But from a betting perspective, so a lot of times I think course history is overrated. I don't care how somebody played in 2017 at a certain course. A lot has changed. This is one of the exceptions. There are very, very clear patterns about certain guys that play really well. Bubba Watson is one that comes off the top of my head, played great last week, and he loves playing here. Tony Finau has had basically one good finish here, 3 missed cuts. So when you're looking at this,
busted his ankle. Is this the tournament
that
he broke that?
That was the Masters.
Yeah,
the Masters. I remember that because he busted it. I was watching live. I ran in and bet Brendan Grace big over Tony Finau, only to watch Finau finish like top 5 on a broken ankle. And, yeah, I remember that well. So, but yeah, course history is going to be good, and those stats that you brought up, of course, are gonna play a part. I also think it's a course where a big name is going to win. You look at the winners; it's pretty tough for a random no-name guy to come out of nowhere. So if you're playing outrights, I know it's fun to try and get that really, really big long shot, but history would tell us not probably going to happen. So those are some of my takeaways for this tournament.
Yeah, probably not the week you're going to find a 100-1 guy coming through with the win. It is the best field so far of 2022. 15 of the top 20 are in this field, so there is a lot of talent teeing up this week. A couple things I was looking up about this event in particular, which really doesn't have anything to do from a betting standpoint, but I thought it was interesting enough to talk about, is this event happens to be the biggest, or I guess what's the best way to say it? It has the largest crowds of any single day sporting event in the world. Over 200,000 fans on any given day attend this thing. It's the biggest one compared to, like, that's on one property compared to, like, I don't know, Tour de France or something where it's, over miles and miles and there's different towns involved. But in one specific place, this is the biggest event in the world, 200,000 plus in one spot. Pretty unique. And of course, it's a party. I was reading a whole bunch of people love to talk about this tournament. Like, some of the quotes from past players is, they overhear spectators going, "Man, we've been here all day and we haven't even seen a single golf shot," which is just the story of this event. And of course, the par 3 16th is the one everybody knows about. One other thing I'll mention is my absolute favorite golf highlight video ever is from this tournament 25 years ago. Tiger Woods, 21 years old, hole-in-one, 16. If you've never seen it, Google it. It is the coolest thing you're going to see in golf, and the chaos that goes afterwards, the parade of raining beers just coming down on the tee boxes. He's raising the roof, walking down the fairway is pretty epic. So if you've never seen that, definitely worth a shot, a view on Google. So check that out. Temperatures, it's Phoenix. I mean, it's beautiful. Or it's Scottsdale. It's beautiful. It's 80 degrees all week, which is actually a little warmer than normal this time of year. No wind. So there's no issue here weather-wise, just to mention that as well. So let's go into our bets for the week. I'll start it off. I mentioned him before, Berger, and I'm going to go back to him again this week. It is, of course, a little worrisome that Berger withdrew last week, citing his back. But a healthy Berger is too good to ignore, so I'm going to hope he is just that this week. He's number one in the field. I already mentioned in strokes gained approach and strokes gained tee to green by a pretty big margin. He finished in the top 20 in all three starts this year. Granted, two of those were smaller field events, the Hero and the Century. But it follows a longer trend where he hasn't missed the weekend in any event since the Masters last April. In 7 starts at this event, Berger does have 2 missed cuts, but he also has 4 finishes of tie for 11th or better. And as usually the case with Berger, if he can just put together an average putting week, he's going to have a chance on Sunday because his ball striking is so good. So Berger's definitely a play on my outright card this week. Andy, what are you looking at?
Well, I'm going to look at Patrick Cantlay. He's minus 140 to finish top 20. This is on DraftKings. He has 5 straight top 10 finishes. All he does is finish near the top of the leaderboard this season. I mean, his stats are incredible. Number 1 in total strokes gained, top 3 in strokes gained, putting off the tee to green. He's not played here before. I talked to somebody here and they're like, "Well, I don't know. Patrick Cantlay's never played here before." He's a top 2 golfer in the world. I think he can navigate the waste management course in Arizona. The fact that he hasn't played here before does not worry me. He's in the zone. We saw him finish, winning the last 2 tournaments last season, and he just hasn't fallen off. He's kept the momentum going. So minus 140, I think, is a bargain to finish top 20. And on DraftKings and the domestics, like we say, ties pay out. So I need him as 20 or better.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's a top 10 machine right now, 5 straight. So I'm guessing that's a little bit of a small plus price, but just grabbing the extra assurance here to get him a top 20, I love that play. Minus 140 is not a bad number to lay there. So good luck to you on that one. I'm definitely going to jump on that. I'll go for another outright. Seamus Power, back to the well with Seamus. He stormed out of the gates last week at Pebble to the tune of a tournament record 5-shot lead through 36 holes. And he didn't even play the easiest course yet, Monterey Peninsula. Of course, then he shits the bed on Saturday at Monterey Peninsula, which should not have happened. Still had a chance on Sunday. Was only 2 back going in, and he just really couldn't get anything going on Sunday. But listen, he's been playing some good golf for a while. He still finished top 10. He was tied for 9th, which is his 5th straight top 15 finish. So not quite as good as Cantlay, but pretty damn close. On the season, he has 2 missed cuts in 10 starts. But the other 8 finishes, his worst one is a tie for 21. That's pretty damn solid. He ranks 4th in scoring average this year, 16th in greens and regulation, and he falls just outside the top 10 in strokes gained. He ranks number 11 at plus 1.33 per round. So, and he's gaining strokes in all 5 statistical categories. So all around, Seamus Power, solid player at 40-1 this week. I think he's got some good value. Once again, going in, I'm going to put him back on my outright card. Andy, I think you have a matchup for us for your next play.
Yeah, let's go with Sam Burns over Tony Finau. Sometimes I think we can overreact to a guy missing the cut, and he was playing fantastic. And then I went back and just went over Sam Burns last tournament where he missed the cut. He played great in round one, and he basically had a 3-hole stretch that made him miss the cut by just a couple shots. I just chalk it up to a couple of bad holes, nothing more. Last 6 months, 4th best on tour in strokes gained, near the top of the rankings in all the main strokes gained categories. He did finish 22nd here last year, and I think he's a more mature golfer. So I would expect a really good finish from him. Finau's been fade material this year. Red flags all over the place to start the season. 28th last week overseas, exactly. 28th at that tournament is not a good finish for someone that's as talented as he is. Before that miscut at a tournament, he normally dominates. And he finished second in 2020 here, but he had missed a cut the 4 previous years. I was high on Sam Burns coming into the season just because he had one bad stretch of holes. Doesn't mean you abandon him. It's actually a pretty good time to come and get him on the rebound. Finau, 209th in putting and 107th in strokes gained. Finau is fade material for me. I'm happy to get Burns over him.
Yeah, I think Burns has some good value this week because you're right. He missed the cut, and then he kind of hasn't been talked about for a few weeks because he hasn't been playing much. So I like the chance to grab him now. If he plays good or plays well this week, you can imagine his number is going to drop, for at least the next couple of weeks. And Finau, I faded him a couple times so far this year. I think I've cashed every single one. He is just not getting it together right now. So like that play, very good find there for sure. I'll end with one leaderboard bet. And this is going to Brendan Steele, top 10 or top 20 this week. Last week's long shot, I took Hayden Buckley. He was close. He was in the top 10 after 36 holes, but faded on the weekend. But Brendan Steele this week I'll ride with. And it's really all based on the past history here. You mentioned course history in this event can have some good ones. He's got some pretty damn good history here. Granted, he has missed the cut in 2 of the last 3 years, but those are his only missed cuts in 11 career starts here with 6 top 20 finishes, including 4 top 10s. So at the top 10 number, if we're getting 11-1 on our money, and we just bet that blindly in all 11 starts here, we're up a cool 37 units. So I like Steele. I think he's going to play well here. He does it every single year, no matter how he's playing coming in. So I think 11-1 is great at a top 10, or and then back that up with a plus 550 on the top 20 side. Again, he hasn't shown much this year. He had a runner-up, though, in October at the Zozo. But all you need is a horse for course play sometimes to elevate your game, and I'm hoping we're going to get that from Steele this week. Andy, last thing you want to mention. I know last week we talked about some experimenting you were going to be doing with some juicy plays. I imagine you put your money where your mouth is last week and tried a few. How'd you do?
Juicy bets update 2-0 last week. We talked about it. And so the premise of this was these domestic books are releasing way more props and plays than they ever have, which is creating more opportunity. And now, Nick, I'm seeing places like Bet Online. They're releasing props. It's like they're trying to catch up, which is just opening up a whole new world. So what I talked about was, why are we scared to lay juice on some of these plays that are pretty easy cashes? So, for example, last week, Dustin Johnson was minus 240 to finish in the top 20 overseas. He was minus 110 to finish in the top 10. He was outside the top 10 going into the last hole. He birdied it to finish 8th, which means you cashed your top 10 barely, but an easy cash at minus 240 top 20. And then Cantlay, I got him at minus 220 last week to finish in the top 20. He finished 4th. So, I mean, you can say it's a lot of juice, but not if it wins, right? So I'm looking, and they're out there. I mean, the play I mentioned earlier about Patrick Cantlay, yeah, you absolutely can take him top 10. Why not pay a little bit extra and get him in the top 20? Guys, he's a top 10 machine. Why wouldn't he be a top 20 play this week to give yourself just a little bit of easier breathing room? So it was 2-0 last week, and I got to say, I'm going to keep looking at these, and I'm probably going to keep playing. One of them I have already submitted as part of the golf pack. So I am going to put my money where my mouth is on these.
I love it. I mean, the nice part, I guess, about this week is a little bit deeper field. You already mentioned Cantlay. You don't have to lay quite the juice to get him in that top 20 at minus 140 is just, I think, a very good value for him this week. So best of luck as you continue those, Andy. I'll be following along, and I imagine I'll be receiving some kudos texts or some FU texts on Sundays as we as we move forward, but that's expected. So before we end the show, want to mention again the promo code for this week is WM40. Grab our 30-day golf pass. Take $40 off the normal price of $99. Grab it for just $59. And you can grab each of the next 5 tournaments included for either Andy or myself. So definitely a good time to check that out. And that's available at WagerTalk.com. Guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. Next week, we will be back. We have, what do we have next week? The Genesis, Riviera. So we'll stay on the West Coast, and we'll be previewing that, of course, for next week. But Andy, good luck to you this week. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. And as always, good luck with your bets.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately. So the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.